Hi, I'm Amy Corr, Chief Brokerage Officer of @Properties Christie's International Real Estate, and you're listening to Corr Values, a podcast where we talk about real estate and real life. As someone who's worn many hats, agent, managing broker, coach, executive, and mom, I know the hustle is real. So I'm sitting down with industry leaders and entrepreneurs to uncover the stories, strategies, and values that fuel real success. From being the CEO of your own business to figuring out how to show up for your people, we're covering it all. Today's guest is a third-generation realtor who earned her license at 22 and quickly became a top producer. Now, Tricia Riberto is a managing broker for @Properties Christie's International Real Estate in our western suburbs. In this episode, we talk about what succession planning really looks like in real estate and why it matters more than you think. We wrap up with a fun round of rapid fire, where we find out what Tricia's dream job is and what her Instagram algorithm says about her. You don't want to miss it. Tricia, I am so excited to have you on Corr Values today. I know it's going to be a good one.
I've just been waiting for you to ask me.
Everybody's going to be excited. And we just have an incredible topic that I know we've been talking about, God, for like the last year and a half, even 2 years. So before we get into our main topic, though, I really want to find out a quick check-in. How are things in the western suburbs? How do you feel like agents right now, kind of wrapping up January, getting into February? How are they feeling about the market? What's the pulse?
Yeah, so I think, well, for sure, we had a busier holiday season than expected. Not so much with closings, but definitely appointments and building momentum for the spring market. So I think it's not reflected in the numbers at this minute, but I think we're going to have a really busy market. That move-up buyer, like I've got a low rate, I want to buy up, but it's expensive. That buyer that's been locked up, it's really, I feel like those people they're back and ready to play and move on with their lives. I have a lot of people that have a pipeline that has been kind of stagnant, and it seems like those people are ready to move. So I'm planning for a good year.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like just the energy that I'm feeling this early in the year with agents. And to your point, I think in December, I was talking to so many people who had like locked up listings. They were getting ready to take photos, everything to sort of launch into this new year. So, I agree. And I'm really hopeful that we are going to see that it's kind of finally time for people to do something. Rates will be what they will be. But, right now, a lot of people have to make life decisions. And, so hopefully it's going to kind of unlock some of the bottleneck that I think that we've been seeing for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. The only other thing I guess that I think is interesting, we've had all of these, we're in tiny train towns with 100-year-old homes. So you're landlocked. There's not lots of new construction except teardowns. We've had a lot of small condo and townhome projects. And by a lot, I mean 4 or 5 that have been approved over the last couple of years that are kind of coming to fruition this year. So I don't know, new construction's back in the West.
And that helps, especially that condo product, because I know we've seen it in a couple of the North Shore spots too, where it's just sort of infill. It's just 3 or 4 units, but we're seeing a lot of those empty nesters, finding something that they can move to so they can kind of unlock that bigger house for that move up buyer that's now ready to go, right?
Yeah, it's exactly what we need.
So I'm excited. Beginning of the year, I feel like we're always bullish, but I think it feels good out there
right
now.
It really does. The momentum's good. I feel much more momentum coming into this year than we did last year.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Well, let's talk about a topic that you and I have talked about it for years. And we actually even spent a lot of time last year saying, how can we take this from a great idea into really helping agents who are thinking about their business, from a couple of different aspects. But it's really kind of this idea of succession planning. It is, as we've seen it, there are oftentimes agents for lots of different reasons that eventually look to get out of the business, right? And we've also seen that when they don't really have a plan, it just sort of happens one day and they're suddenly just out of the business. And it's interesting because the clientele that they have kind of just spreads to all of these other agents that are kind of existing in that marketplace. And so, I think, and I know both of us think this is a real opportunity for agents who have a good business even if they're a handful of years out, to really start thinking about when I do want to slow down and when I do want to maybe move on or not do so much, like how do I do that and still keep some, revenue flow? And really, how do I kind of keep my book of business intact, right? So big picture, talk to me and tell everybody out there what your thoughts are, kind of on succession planning and how you see that can be a big impact for agents in this business right now.
Sure. So succession planning is definitely, I think it's a different bucket than retirement. Succession planning happens before you want to retire. Succession planning happens in 2 years out, 3 years out, maybe even 5. And I think when you talk about succession planning, it's how do I take my business that's thriving or in a really strong, good spot and start putting a plan and process in place to transfer those relationships to someone else that can provide the same type of high quality service, marketing support that I provide. It's not, what succession planning is not is, I'm at the end of my career. I stopped marketing a long time ago. I'm just doing a handful of deals, and I'm going to just refer those few deals out to someone. That's retirement, and that's an option and absolutely okay too. Succession planning happens early, and it's strategic. It's tied to a time frame, and it's really intentional about passing what you've built on to someone. Really, when you're kind of still at the top of your game.
Yeah, and it isn't just one person's scenario. This is really kind of a matchmaking situation, right?
Sure, yeah.
Because this, if done well or done correctly, it is a very profitable book of business that is valued at something, and somebody else is going to come along and is willing to, in some fashion or format, pay for that book of business and take it on and then continue to grow it or bring it into theirs. So, in a perfect world, if agents are suddenly out there hearing this and thinking whether I'm somebody who's got a great business and I know I want to do something with it at some point, or maybe I'm an agent who is curious about, are there, agents out there that I could talk to or maybe explore this, tell me, who are these right candidates? Because this isn't for everybody.
Right. So if you want to be the successor, you really have to be able to commit to a time frame. Amy and I, when we were talking the other day, we were kind of joking about agents say 3 to 5 more years for, decades.
For 3 to 5 more years.
Yeah. And because there is no, you don't always know what you want, and there doesn't have to be a start and end. It's part of the magic of our business. It can be whatever you want to be. Succession planning is really tied more towards a time frame. Like, I know I'm going to move to Florida in 5 years or in 3 years, and I want to identify someone that really will resonate with my clientele, that works the same geographic area as my clientele, that will be an easy transfer. So a lot of being a successor is really being able to make the decision, I'm ready for this, I'm ready to let go, and committing to the time frame. Also, knowing there's evaluation that comes with it, and that's a process that's rewarding. But then also, when you talk about the successee is not a mentorship. It's not someone new to the business that's coming in, that's going to be coached and trained by this agent looking to transition out in a few years. It's somebody that's already has a established business that can step in as a partner and really do a co-marketing and a handoff. So the right successee, it's not going to be your best friend at the office necessarily, or the new agent that reminds you of you when you got started. There really has to be some thoughtfulness around who that right candidate's going to be, because you really get one shot at introducing someone to your clients and making sure that they're the right fit and that the longevity is there and that the handoff's going to be the right one. So that's, a lot of times when someone brings this topic up to me, they have someone in mind, and I'm like, pump the brakes. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? So we actually have put together a really nice questionnaire of just some things to think about if you were the successee or successor before you jump into a relationship with your your new favorite agent.
Yeah. I mean, because it isn't a get rich quick scheme, which, I think
quite the opposite.
Yeah. I think immediately it's like, amazing. Yes. An agent who's dialing back and I'm trying to ramp up. Perfect scenario.
Yeah.
But they're actually, in order for this to work out well, there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of interviewing, and there is kind of a long runway, right? And I know we had the good fortune to work with an outside consultant.
Right.
Who has done this in the industry across many different brands, because I think we knew enough to be kind of dangerous, or let's say curious.
With some really good guesses.
We had some good ideas, but then we thought, why not just bring in somebody who actually has done this, knows what they're doing? And what I'd love you to kind of just at a high level maybe talk about is, are there a handful, maybe there's 3, 4, or 5 things, are there a certain things that should always be considered when you're looking at developing a succession plan?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that when this wonderful consultant that Amy's referencing, we met, has been helping agents, whether they were selling a small franchise or a small company-owned business, or they were a big team or a sole proprietor, value their business and then also kind of package it so that it would be saleable. And so a lot of the guidance that we received was from 15 years of experience of doing this. And ultimately, when you go to actually look at your business and try to transfer it to someone else, you're looking for a buyer for it. The person, that the successor, a lot of the successees, I think, okay, you're going to give me leads and I'm going to give you a referral fee. Well, not if you have a real business to sell. So if you have a real business to sell, that means you have a real organized database. That's not a list of email addresses. That's a list of relationships, transactions you've done with them, how you know that person or what the relationship is, email addresses, phone numbers, addresses, kids' names, anniversary dates, everything we ask you to do, ask agents to do in the CRM, that's assets. Maybe the agent selling their business has an email address or a phone number or a website that brings in a certain amount of revenue every year, or 70 central lock boxes. Those things all have value. Does the successor have a true brand that's recognized locally, that is known and well respected? If so, there's value in that. Is there a marketing plan? I mean, you and I both know that there are agents that are wildly successful, that shoot from the hip their entire career. They don't know how they do it, but they just do it. And there's some sort of magic in them. You can't transfer your magic.
Yeah.
You have to have a process and a plan that's duplicatable and repeatable. And so if you want to build your business or structure your business to be able to sell it and have a true succession plan someday, you have to have your back room in order. You have to have a duplicatable, repeatable marketing plan that you've used before, not one you just put together to try to sell your business. You have to have a strong, identifiable brand. Your database needs to be button tight. You have to really understand and know what your assets are, and what you have that's of value and what's not. And there's a couple of other things, but I would say those are the main categories that you have to have things that you can actually transfer. They're not just, you can't transfer great personalities and friendships.
Right. And, that would be great and easy if that were the case. And I think in all of that, I think if I'm an agent out there kind of listening right now, one of the things that I gleaned just in our working on this all together is that it is never too early in your business to be thinking about what the end looks like and being able to transfer it. We've worked with people that say, you plan with the end in mind. And even if that end is, look, I'm going to be in this business, like I want to be working in it for 15 years, you can still today be thinking about, what do my systems look like what will be sellable in 15 years. Again, it can't just be me and my talent and, my fabulous relationship with people. What is transferable? So, I feel like, if there were a couple things agents should be getting into order right now, I think it is, of course, their contacts, but are there other things that you maybe even didn't think about after you, met with our consultant as it related to succession planning that me as an agent, I can, be starting to make sure that I have crystal clear?
Well, I think, for some agents that have magic that they just show up and kind of spread every year, I think a lot of it just comes down to documenting. You know, we've both got cross paths with plenty of great agents that they, you know, every year they do their Mother's Day mani-pedi party for their top clients, and they know they call this salon, and they know that they send out this Evite. You know, documenting everything that you do so that there's a process and a plan. I think that's half the battle, is that we as agents don't always slow down and really put the processes and systems in place. They're just in our mind. And so I think that has a lot to do with it. You know, if you think about, even if you're thinking about, one of the things that the consultant said, you know, every agent, even a brand new agent, when they start building their business, they should build it thinking about the end in mind. I want to build something that's transferable.
Yep.
And so if I'm building something that's transferable, I'm thinking about my website domain name, and I'm thinking about my logo and my branding, and maybe it isn't all always just my name. And so you have to kind of begin with the end in mind. And I think everyone's businesses are different, and they're going to have different assets that will make sense. But just even getting back to the basics and having your data in an organized fashion, a CRM, a marketing plan with the samples, you know, orderly, duplicatable, I think that's half the battle.
Well, because, you know, I think when you and I were talking about this, there was, you know, a couple of agents that I had seen in one of the North Shore offices that I will tell you, they were major players in their market, doing 50, 60, 70 million in business. And they kind of, you know, decided to take a step back. Like, I think things changed in their life, all good things, you know, wanted to spend half their time in Florida. They had grandkids, all the reasons to slow down. But what I realized is that because they hadn't thought about this ahead of time, now their business is just gone.
Right.
Like, you know, what'll end up happening is, it's amazing how the market will just capture it all up.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, as much as we think people are going to be loyal to us, there's just so much opportunity to go somewhere else if you aren't doing all the things that you've always done. And if it's not going to be you, to your point, you've got it all systematized so that by the time you're bringing somebody in and coaching them on exactly what your clientele expects, there's enough time for them to get comfortable with this new person, right? So is there kind of a time frame that you feel makes sense for the successee and the successor to kind of be working hand in hand?
Yeah.
Like, is there kind of a magic formula for that?
Yeah, so I think the perfect number is 3 years. Do we have a formula now for 1 year, and do we have a formula now for 5 years? We do. I think it has a lot to do with the business that you're trying to transfer. You know, if I'm the buyer of your business, so if you've got a robust business and I'm paying you money for it, in addition to the leads and referrals that I'll get in the database that I'll get, I want, you know, I need you as the successor to help me, to make sure that I'm the name and face, that people feel as comfortable with me as they do you. So while you're still on top of your game, I need you to introduce me to the key clients as your partner. I need us together to hold client events so that I can work the room. I need time to build credibility with your database when you're out of town. And so the longer we can do that, the longer we can co-market, the more the stickiness on the back end is going to happen. And so, you know, if you have a small database of core relationships, maybe we can get that done really well in 6 months. But if you've got a robust business and you've got hundreds of relationships that you want to transfer, and you want to transfer them well, you need a plan. You need a 12-month introductory plan. Then you need another 12 months of co-marketing and co-branding. And then maybe the last 12 months of the 3-year plan is really about the lead stepping back and letting the successee be the face of the business, and this other person's still in the background. So the more time, the better. Truly, I think that's how both parties get the most out of it.
Yeah. So it almost is kind of this process of recognizing that we want to work together, kind of merging into almost a partnership for a period of time, right? Where, as you said, kind of the transition of trust starts taking place.
Right.
And then probably one of the hardest parts, that successor being okay and ready, you know, to sort of take that step back, which, you know, I could imagine is sometimes hard.
It's hard, but I think that's part of doing a plan and committing to something, because I think that, you know, anyone thinking about retirement, especially in our business, where you don't have to have a firm line.
Yeah.
I mean, agents talk themselves in and out of going into holding and back. And
Oh, of course.
where this is a plan that you're working towards, and you have to follow through.
Yeah.
Someone's paying you a lump sum of money for your business. You have to follow through, and there's a definitive end. But you get I think you get the pleasure of taking what you built and really passing it on to someone that you get to work closely with, and knowing that your people are serviced and taken care of, but also knowing that someone else, one, that you got a nice payday for it, and two, that someone else gets the benefit of everything that you built.
Yeah. So I want to touch on for just a second kind of the financial side of it. And I'm assuming that, every deal could be different. It depends on really the size of the business, how well they've built systems, what kind of lead generation, would somebody be getting out of this, but what do kind of the financials look like? Like if I'm a successee, if I'm somebody who is thinking, wow, this kind of sounds like a cool opportunity, what should they be thinking as they're sort of stepping into something like this?
Yeah, no, this is a smart question, because I think that if I'm an agent listening to this, that's hungry and ready to grow, I want to be the successee for every top agent. I think that the first thing you have to understand is that if you are going to be a successee for a real business that's being transferred to you with assets in a real database, you're going to pay for it like you're buying a small business. It's not going to be just an informal, here's all my clients and you pay me a referral fee if something happens. You're going to pay a lump sum of money the same way that you would if you were going to go buy if you were a dentist and you're going buying another dental practice. You wouldn't just send the old dentist referral fees for, when you got paid. So this isn't for everyone. You do have to think about, I'm going to be paying for this business. And so the valuation method that the consultant we work with uses is very similar to methods that financial advisors use when they purchase businesses, insurance agents, dentists, and doctors. And so it's looking at what did this business make over the course of 3 years, and then when you take that amount of income, and then you look at, okay, how big is the database? How well organized is it? What do the assets look like? If someone's transferring a phone number to you that's generating $50 million worth of leads every year, that's an asset. So you really have to. So there's an actual formula of how do we take the income and the criteria of what the assets are for this business, and evaluation that we've been taught on how to actually evaluate the business, and then together the agent, successee, and successor work through how that payment method's going to happen, and we have legal working on contracts to help guide the process, because I don't like any sort of teams, partnerships, assistants,
without
relationships,
something in writing, right?
Unless we're doing this in writing up front, so everyone's crystal clear. And we're here to guide. Like we're not, we want to help the successors get the most out of the business that they've built. We want to help the successees successfully transfer the business, and we certainly want to help the end user stay working in our ecosystem and also with great service and care. But we're here to guide. We're going to give you a method that's proven, that's worked. Ultimately, you, the successor and the successee, are going to decide how they want to do it. We're just going to offer a framework.
And I love that. So if I am somebody who is, again, listening in and is curious about what's my first step after this? Is there a form that they fill out? Like who should they get in contact with? How can we make sure that they're at least able to take that first next step and that are matched maybe with their managing broker to step through it?
Sure. I would say the first step is you could just reach out to me via email, and I'm going to ask you to get some things in order. And it's looking at your time frame, looking at, and you don't have to commit to a time frame when you email me, but you at least have to have some sort of time frame in mind. It can be flexible. And then I'm going to give you some to-do list items, getting your database together, just some preliminary items so that we can at least get the process started, and then we go from there.
Yeah. I love it. I'm excited that we have taken the time to really look at this because I think there is real opportunity for a lot of our agents who've grown incredible businesses. And yes, it can be an opportunity for another agent who is looking to get to the next level. But I think it is not for the faint of heart, and it is definitely a commitment. So I think that's something that agents needs to know.
It's a commitment on both sides. I'm the successor. I got to make sure I have coffees with my successee and every single one of these people. If I'm the successee, I got to run my existing business and make time to do all of this. Yeah. This is not for the faint of heart. Yeah. You nailed it.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for many of our folks in our, at ecosystem with this intact. So, all right. I know you know this, Tricia, but for every core values, we've got a rapid fire section. All right, Let's go. This is the Tricia Tells All. Are you ready for it?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I'm not good at filtering, so.
I love it. This is going to be fun. If we pulled up your Google history or Instagram homepage, what might surprise us?
Oh, everything. Well, right now I'm pretty into college basketball.
Okay.
So right now I'm like checking the rankings and the games every single day.
Okay. A Purdue grad, right?
Well, but I like all the Big Ten.
Okay.
Especially Big Ten Midwest. Yeah. So I'm cheering for all of them.
All right, good. I like it. If there was a movie about your life, who would play you?
Well, I'll tell you who I would want to play me. I don't know that she'd be real excited about playing me, but Kristen Bell.
Oh, I love
she's
her.
Cute. Yes. She's tiny. She's like 5 feet tall. So am I. She's funny. I would, Kristen Bell. Be me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she would like that. I think she would have I think she'd have a lot of fun being you. If you were given a most likely to title in your high school yearbook, what would it have been?
I'm not proud of this. But I definitely, I would be most likely to ditch class and go to the tanning bed.
Oh, gosh.
I was a big...
I hope your daughters aren't listening right now.
Children, plug your ears. Do better than me. I was, I was known for ditching class and getting a tan.
Oh my gosh! Do people even go to tanning beds
anymore? I'm not sure.
Oh God! Spray tan only.
We laid in that sweaty, dirty bed.
Yes.
And we put a sticker on. Did you put the sticker on?
Yes.
Playboy Bunny sticker.
Yes. I have to admit, I did it myself. Maybe didn't skip class to do it, but I was definitely a tanner. Yes. If you could do a shot ski with anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would it be?
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, that's so great. Why?
I mean, who doesn't love Rocky and Rambo? He's my guy. He's my guy. I love Sly. I geek out.
Oh, my God. I love it.
Just want to be in the same room with him.
That is a good one. If you weren't in real estate, what would your dream job be?
Oh, I want to coach recreational sports. I don't want to, for middle school kids, I don't want to coach the travel teams where everyone's really. I want to coach the kids that are awkward and didn't make those teams, and I just want to make them believe they can do anything.
Aww.
I've coached a few rec teams like that, and my husband was like, "I've never seen you happier."
Oh, I love it.
Unfortunately, it doesn't pay anything.
Oh, right. But we need more of you, Tricia. We need more people like you. I love that.
Oh, God, I love those misfits.
Oh, so good. Those misfits end up being CEOs of companies.
They just need someone to believe in them, like me. Yes. They need me.
Yes. All right, you get full control of the office music. What's playing? And what are you banning?
Oh, this is not going to be a popular answer. I'm banning country. I'm sorry. I know it's the cool thing. Country out, 90s hip hop in.
Oh, all right. I'm coming to your office.
The 2022 Super Bowl halftime show that was iconic. That's what's playing in the office all year round if I have control.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. All right, I am a country fan, but I like 90s hip hop too, so I'll be okay. All right, last one. What's something you love doing that has nothing to do with real estate?
Oh, this is dorky. No, it's not dorky, actually. If my kids were here, I'm like, this is awesome. I'm a bookworm. I read, I don't know, I probably read 50 books a year.
Really?
Novels. And people are like, what do you like to read? I'm like, everything. Yeah. The back of the cereal box, a business book, historical fiction.
What's the last book that you read? Anything memorable? Me being, I used to read. I don't read much anymore. So if there's something that I'd have to read.
Well, I'll just tell you my last favorite book that I read. Because you get a lot of favorites. But my last favorite book I read is called The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. And it's just one of those books that I can't, the main character is just one hell of a woman. And it's based on a true story. And it's great. I can't stop thinking about her. Just like I can't stop thinking about Sly.
That's right. Okay, Sly, The Nightingale, so many things. It looks like there's a new book on my list. It'll probably take me a year to finish it, but
no, that's the problem. Like you'll be up till 3 a.m.
Oh, and then, okay. I haven't had one of those in a long time.
Oh boy,
Oh,
there you go.
Tricia, we could talk all day long. Honestly, if we each had a glass of wine, we'd be in trouble. We'd be here all afternoon. But thank you for joining me. I loved all of your insight on succession planning. To all of you out there, you know who to reach out to if you're curious to learn more. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Corr Values. Thanks for listening to this episode of Corr Values. If you loved the episode, be sure to hit the follow button so you don't miss the next one. You can also connect with me on Instagram and LinkedIn for more insights on all things real estate and real life. And always, as a friendly reminder, you got this.